Hello everyone and welcome to SOP Academy. So in this video we are going to see a latest CAPGEMINI interview experience. I have shared other interview experiences on CAPGEMINI on this channel. You can check out the CAPGEMINI playlist where you will find the other interview experiences on CAPGEMINI. So this interview was held on the 20th of January 2022. The branch of the student was computer science and the duration of this interview was 15 to 20 minutes. Now we will look at the questions. The first question was tell me something about yourself. So this is the basic introduction part. So you can introduce yourself in your own way, but always do mention the points that I am going to tell you. So first thing is your name, then your city where you are living currently. Then you will mention your graduation degree, which college you are pursuing your degree from, then which city your college is located in. After that, mention the branch which you are studying currently in. For this student it was computer science. Then after this you will mention your experiences, your training experiences and your internship experiences if you have done. Then you can mention your extracurricular activities. Then you can also mention some of your accomplishments in life. After that you can mention some hobbies of yours and some extra points if you want to include in your in your introduction, then that also you can include. So the next question is what is encapsulation? So this was the technical question. So let us look at the answer. When all the data members and member functions are combined in a single unit called class, this process is called encapsulation. As we all know that C++ is an object oriented language. So in that we have classes and objects. So in a class we have data members and member functions. So this is called encapsulation. When you add the data members and member functions inside a single entity which is class, that will be called encapsulation. What is the use of volatile keyword? So the volatile keyword or qualifier is applied to a variable when we declare it. So when you declare a variable, you can mention volatile before it. So what it will do is it is used to tell the compiler that the value of that variable can change at any point of time. Object oriented objects declared as volatile are omitted from optimization because their values can be changed by code outside the scope of the current code at any time. So the system always reads the current value of a volatile object from the memory location rather than keeping its value in the temporary register. Next question is what are the differences between C and C++? So let us look at the differences. The first and basic difference is C was developed by Dennis Ritchie in 1969 at AT&T Bell Labs, whether while C++ was developed by Barnes Stroustrup in 1979. C is a procedural programming language and C++ supports both procedural as well as object-oriented programming language. So C++ has an extra advantage that it is object-oriented programming language as well. The third is C does not support OOPS concepts because it's not an object-oriented language. It has no support for polymorphism, encapsulation and inheritance. But in case of C++, it has support for polymorphism, encapsulation and inheritance as it is an object-oriented programming language. C does not support encapsulation, so data behave as a free entity and can be manipulated by outside code. But in C++, we have encapsulation, which is used to hide the data to ensure that the data structures and operators are used as intended. So this is an advantage of an object-oriented language, that we have encapsulation. The fourth point is C is a general known as function-driven language. C is a function-driven language, while the C++ is an object-driven language in which we have classes and objects. The last point is C does not support function and operator overloading, but C++ supports function as well as operator overloading. And in C, we do not have namespace feature and reference variables. But in C++, we have namespace feature as well as reference variable functionality. The next question, what is a destructor? So a destructor, as you can see the syntax, the syntax of the destructor is first you will have this special keyword. You can see it is a wave sign, then name of class. This will become a destructor. So a destructor is just opposite to a constructor. It will be used to destruct the objects of a class. So it is an instant member function which will be invoked automatically whenever an object is going to be destroyed. So it is the last function that is going to be called before an object is destroyed. There can only be one destructor in a class with class name by preceded by this sign. So no parameters and no return type is there in a destructor. So it will not have any return type and there will be no parameters inside it. You can see the syntax. Just use the special keyword and provide the name of the class. This is how we define a destructor. The next question is, can we overload a destructor? So this was a very good question. You must note this question. So no, we cannot overload a destructor of a class in C++ because only one empty destructor per class should be there. So it must have a void parameter list. So destructors in C++ neither take any parameter nor does it return anything. So multiple destructor with different signatures are not possible in a class, hence overloading is not possible. So we know that for a class you can use just a single destructor, so it cannot be overloaded because you can just define a destructor once. The next is, what is a virtual function? So a virtual function is a member function in the base class. So we have base classes and derived classes. So we have functions in a base class, we can define them as virtual functions. So when you define a function as a virtual function, then what we are doing is that we are expecting to redefine the function in the derived class. So basically a virtual function is used in the base class in order to ensure that the function is overridden in the derived class. So this case specially applies to cases where a pointer of base class points to an object of a derived class. So in simple terms, we have base class and derived class. In base class, we can define a function as virtual. What it will do is, when we make a derived class on the basis of the base class, then you can change the function, you can override the function in the derived class. The next question is, what projects have you made? So mention all of the projects that you have made, minor projects, major projects, whatever projects you have made, and just mention that in brief. And if the question comes that please explain this project, then mention the project, what was the aim and goal of the project, what programming languages you used in the project, what technologies you used, how many members were there in the team, how much duration the project took to completion, and also mention what was the final outcome of the project. The next question is, what are your strengths? So always prepare this answer before. So whenever this question comes, you can just mention whatever strengths you have. Don't just write any theoretical answer, just prepare whatever. Everyone has some strengths and weaknesses, so prepare your strengths, and whenever this question is asked, then you can just say those strengths. The next is, why Capgemini? So this question it needs background research. So before giving any interview in any company, do research about the company and find what are the benefits of joining this company. So when the HR asks why Capgemini, then you can mention those benefits, which will be a good answer to this question. The next is, any questions? So at the last of the interview, most of the interviewers will ask you that do you have any questions. So always ask some questions. Even if you don't have any question, then also ask a simple, very small question, so that the interviewer knows that you are interactive during the interview. This will give you some extra points over the other candidates. So this is the interview experience. I hope you liked it, and if you like this interview experience, you can give a thumbs up to this video. You can press the like button and subscribe to the SOP Academy channel. So that is all for this video. See you soon in the next video.